Okay, let's get started. DNC Day 1, President Joseph Robinette Brandon is going to be delivering the keynote address tonight. Maybe I'll be there for that. I don't even know if I will be. I don't know if I'll attend that one, but I could potentially. Okay. Now, let me tell you, I did not get this level of access that this man has right here. I don't know if they just like set up their camera right here or if they have news stations, but like the DNC should have given me, I'm not kidding when I say this, the DNC should have given me like a CNN style permanent studio. Okay, they fucked up.
Bringing our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce, our chief Washington correspondent John Carl. Mary, you got caught up in all those storms yesterday, but let's talk about the speech tonight with President Biden. Going to be a bittersweet moment for him, but he'll get a lot of love in that hall.
Fox News briefly mentioned influencers getting credentials for the DNC timestamp.
I was reading that apparently, in addition to Joe Biden speaking tonight, during the week, there are going to be 5 social media influencers. And a bunch of social media influencers have wound up with credentials because, as every campaign knows, something like half of Americans get some of their news from social media.
Yeah, myself included, except problem is, I think the people that are speaking that they're giving talking points to or like allowed to speak at the DNC, which I never would have done that anyway. But the people that got the fucking, you know who got one of the talking slots? That fucking chick, Olivia Giuliana, who literally was till the very last moment riding with Biden. The Democratic Party is so unimaginably washed in this regard, where they just literally, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter if you have no organic momentum. It doesn't matter if you have no like real fan base or whatever. As long as a DNC staffer said we should give you one, but then my boss asked if you still burp into the microphone. If I get one. Yeah, this is trying to reach out to that coveted Zoomer who hasn't said shit about Gaza since November, pushed the Josh Shapiro for Veep campaign, and was a shameless Biden bitter ender until the minute he dropped demo. There's like 8 fucking people that are actually like this in this age range. And what I find really funny about that is that all of those 8 people are also at the DNC. So who the fuck is this outreach for? The other 7 people that you didn't give time slots to? Like, this is why it's so ridiculous. Like, the Democratic Party, what are you fucking doing? I'm not saying give me a fucking time slot. I don't want to talk at the goddamn DNC anyway. But having said that, you know, like, figure this shit out. It's crazy. This person's got 0 juice. This person's got 0 momentum. This person's got 0 emotion, dude. What the fuck are you guys doing? Who the fuck's out here being like, oh man, I'm such a Olivia Giuliana head? You know? They got no aura. Yeah, she was at Gen Z for Change and then dropped them because you know, she had higher aspirations to be a fucking Democratic Party staffer. She genuinely thought Texas was going to flip in 2020. It's like, yeah, this is like, let Austin speak, dude. Austin's got more fucking clout and more motion than this person. But in any case, what? You're so jealous? No, dude, I don't want to fucking speak at the DNC. What is wrong with you? What are you, fucking delusional? But there's like a million people they could have talked to before this person, okay? But good morning when you go to the DNC today. So I went to the DNC already earlier today. Basically, I fucking went into the DNC already to get my goddamn credentials, and I couldn't even get my goddamn credentials. That was my first interaction with the DNC. But later today, I will most likely go. I think the UAW actually might have slotted me in for Sean. I'm not even joking. And I don't know if it's like an actual event or if I have an hour with him. The UAW might have given me an entire fucking hour with Sean Fain, I think. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Can you tell the clip channels not to upload any of this? Because I'm sure you want this on your main channel. Yeah, don't upload this stuff. Anyway, why do we ever doubt you? Another prediction of yours has come true. Yeah. Hey guys, remember when I told you that the Trump supporters are going to be so insane that they're going to start making fun of Tim Walz for having weak sperm? I mean, I'm sure there's a clip. Someone logged it at the time. Someone must have logged it at the time. As you guys know, I said this immediately. As soon as the ticket was Walz, I said, he has an IVF baby. He had 2 children with in vitro fertilization. Trump supporters are going to turn around and say his sperm is weak and start making fun of him for having weak sperm because they're fucking insane. And guess what? We're there now. They're carrying around JD Vance sperm cups. Apparently, the reason why they're carrying around JD Vance sperm cups is to make fun of how weak Tim Walz's sperm is, apparently. But I still don't know the veracity of this. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. There's no way that they're like actively pushing for this. Like, it's got to be like 4 or 5 people max if it's real at all, because honestly, them making fun of JD Vance having weak sperm is one thing that's expected, but them carrying around like JD Vance, like a cup that says like JD Vance's sperm, like, I don't think that that's the case. There's no shot. There's no fucking shot. Anyway, in terms of Republicans being abnormal, once again, Ian Miles Wrong, the Malaysian bandit who should be arrested and prosecuted for his crimes against the beautiful Malaysian state by being an unconditional dick rider and a loyalist to the state of Israel, should be actually fucking tried for treason and maybe executed by the state. But here he is tweeting, many people are saying AOC looks alluring and is making bedroom eyes at political influencers at the DNC pre-show. Thoughts? Some people just need, you know, I always say like lobotomy, but honestly, I think maybe euthanization, okay? Like, you know, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Just looking forward to the convention this week.
I mean, I love meeting people from all different parts of the country, and to have everyone from Puerto Rico to Alabama all in one room, learning about each other, talking about each other, that's my favorite part about this.
And have the best convention. Great to meet you.
Anyway, I haven't even seen the inside of this fucking place yet, but now on the other bracket, cringe. Trump War Room, which knows what normal is saying this is cringe.
Now let's get back to work, shall we?
Wow, dude. That's fucking cringe, man. That's really cringe, dude. Another right-wing freakout, totally normal shit.
That's what our election is about. Our election is about understanding the importance of this beautiful country of ours in terms of...
Yeah, I mean, she did the thing that she did last time, which is like unburdened by what has become, you know, she did that type beat. And that's why they're saying she's like cringe and weird, but it's like, you can be coherent and then turn around and say the most unimaginably weird bullshit someone has ever fucking heard, which is what Republicans usually do. Versus someone who just kind of sounds a little off. Someone who just sounds a little fucking zooted or makes some sense, but not the most sense when they're fucking off the teleprompter. People would most likely prefer the word salad over the clear and coherent, insane shit that Republicans say on a daily fucking basis. Bill Clinton DNC speech. Mr. Trump, I flew with Jeffrey Epstein. I knew Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a friend of mine. Donald, you're no Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, that's a good one. But yeah, let's get back to it. Let's see what the fuck they're talking about with the Joe Biden DNC Day 1 speech.
He will, and bittersweet is exactly the right word for this. I mean, imagine just a month ago, Joe Biden thought this was going to be his convention. And now instead tonight, he's going to walk out on that stage and pass the torch to Kamala Harris. He will tout the accomplishments that he and Harris have achieved together, make clear he thinks she is the future of the party. And of course, he has been praised for his decision to bow out of the race and endorse Harris, even though the party didn't exactly give him a whole lot of choice in the matter. So this is going to be an emotional moment for him, also a chance for him to cement his legacy. This is likely the largest audience he's going to have as his now 50-plus year career in politics, begins to wind down. And the challenge then for Harris is to take that baton, run on her record with Biden, but also make clear what she would do differently and make this her own.
And John, you and I have been covering politics for a long time. It's really hard to think of a more consequential summer in American politics. You go back to that debate less than 2 months ago, June 27th.
I mean, we have an entirely different race than we had a month ago. This is a transformed election. This convention is entirely transformed. I mean, a month ago, they had to rip up a script they had effectively been working on, really, George, starting to work on this convention 2 years ago. Now you have Kamala Harris, who was a vice president standing in the shadows of an unpopular president, now suddenly the undisputed leader of a newly energized Democratic Party. And George, what I would look for here is Harris, as Mary suggested, to subtly but clearly distance herself from Joe Biden, and interestingly, also from herself and from the positions she took when she ran in an ill-fated campaign 4 years ago for the Democratic nomination as somebody at the far left of the party. Now she is a transformational figure, or wants to be one, who can appeal to the left of her party, the center of her party, and also to disaffected Republicans unhappy with Donald Trump.
Meantime, John, former President Trump seems to be disoriented by the change. His team keeps saying focus on the issues. He keeps focusing on Kamala Harris.
Did this motherfucker just say far left?
From the positions she took when she ran in an ill-fated campaign 4 years ago for the Democratic nomination as somebody at the far left of the party. Now she is a transformational figure, or wants.
Bro, what are you saying? Yo, people just be saying shit. I swear to God, mainstream media, people just say shit. What do you mean far left? The fuck do you mean far left? What are we doing here, man? Far left of what? She was never. Oh my God. Okay. The word communism just like doesn't mean anything to the mainstream media anymore. Yeah. Warning for protesters. Jack Posobiec is present. Please do not engage. Nice. She was called the most left senator or something at the time. Probably what he's referring to. Yeah. I mean, she's not. And she wasn't back then either, by the way. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. So far left is wild. Call to order Minion Moore, chairman of the Democratic National Convention Committee, Honorable Jamie Harrison. Here, this is the lineup. That Gay Guy Candle Co. Thank you to That Gay Guy Candle Co. for the speakers. Remarks and video intro from Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago. Confirmatory ceremonial vote. Welcome remarks. Peggy Flanagan, lieutenant governor of Minnesota. Member of the U.S. House of Rep, Illinois, Lauren Underwood. Video from Rich Logis, former Donald Trump voter. Remarks from Robert Garcia. Joint remarks. All this stuff is like whatever. It's not really that interesting, but I mean, there's a lot of labor people on this lineup, so that's cool. That's the first day. And then remarks, Project 2025, Chapter 1, introduction. Michigan State Senator Honorable Gina M. Raimondo, Kathy Hochul, Governor of New York. Sean Fain is going to be speaking. AOC is going to be speaking, and then that's got to be a mistake. Wait, AOC and Hillary Clinton back to back? What the fuck? Am I crazy? That's crazy. That's why. Okay. Oh, hell no, dude. What the fuck? And then Jim Clyburn, Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, Grace Meng, and then joint remarks from radical liberal Raphael Warnock, remarks by Dr. Jill Biden, introduction by Ashley Biden, and then the Honorable Joe Biden, the Prezi. Bernard Sanders going to be speaking on Tuesday night. Interview with Hill Dog? No. This interview's outdated. They're going to be swapping out Hillary Clinton with Austin's show. You literally don't show up for me on my phone unless I search you up, even though I'm subbed. Yeah, dude, they're fucking suppressing me. Nah, dude, mobile is just broken, okay? That's all this is. I don't think they're like suppressing my free speech here, okay? With a measly 36,000 viewers 1 hour into the fucking broadcast, you know? Pisaki and Pritzker taking Malort shots. Okay, this is like kind of annoying because I would like to fucking also hang out with the Pritz. Okay. And it's like he was one of the fucking interview targets for me, and they didn't play that game at all. Okay. It's like, oh, do I have to be in the administration? Do I have to be a Pisaki bomb? Do I have to drop a Pisaki bomb to be able to get fucking Big Pritz? Do I have to drop a Pisaki bomb to get the Big Pritz interview? What the fuck? Is it because my big boy card has been revoked? Is that what this is? Is that the issue? Fake champagne socialists, get your money up more? Yeah. Malort is so fucking nasty. I know that's the point, but damn. I am sucking you from the mobile app. What does that even mean? That's Malort. It's not worth it, brother. I don't care. If I get to do it with the Pritz, I'm fucking down. I'll down that shot. All right, let's see what the Fox News people are saying about the influencers.
Like a third of people under 30 get their news from TikTok. So bring in the TikTokers to make Kamala Harris look better.
Yeah, and you know what? This, I should say, is something that this administration has been doing for a while. I mean, they had a briefing at the White House with social media influencers. You recall at NATO, they invited like 20 or so to come in and cover the NATO summit. I don't know how that went over or if people watched it on.
I mean, that's dumb as fuck, bro. I'm sorry, but that is hilarious, okay? Yeah, let's get the fucking influencers at the goddamn NATO summit. Like, what? We're really figuring out exactly what these kids like, you know what I mean? Hey, if you're under the age of 35, you know what you're fucking primed about, dude? NATO, okay? It's like, bro, there is like 8 American citizens that vote outside of the DMV, specifically Northern Virginia. Who the fuck is voting for NATO? There is no NATO voters, man. That's not a thing. God damn, I'm fucking losing my mind at how stupid the Democrats can sometimes be. This is like old Democratic Party shit. They're shedding a lot of this stuff, in my opinion.
But they're increasingly aware that that's where people get their information, and they're trying to reach those voters. And some polling I saw a couple days ago shows that Harris is doing well with TikTokers, so maybe it's working, guys.
The TikTokers will do some talking. Thank you very much, Jackie.
Yeah.
What's funny is that you don't make Harris look better. It's conservatives who makes themselves look worse. Yeah. Single issue voters who's concerned about energy stability in Germany. Excuse me, sir. I was really worried about making sure that Finland joins NATO, and I will be writing in Biden because he got Finland into NATO. Yeah, that's the situation. That's DNC day one. Far left figurehead Kamala Harris is transforming the fucking party. Didn't realize you were cosplaying to the DNC. What do you mean cosplaying?
Can appeal to the left of her party, the center of her party, and also to disaffected Republicans unhappy with Donald Trump.
Meantime, John, former President Trump seems to be disoriented by the change. His team keeps saying focus on the issues. He keeps focusing on Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and he really has been thrown off his game. You've heard him complain privately and publicly about the fact that Biden was swapped out. They were prepared to run against Biden. Republicans have a clear strategy. That is, focus on the issues. As you heard Rick say, you have Republicans. Trump has an advantage on crime, on the border, on the economy, but he is not focusing on the issues. His is all about attack, attack, attack. Personally attack and attack some more.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. Trump will be like, we're doing a policy on the economy speech. We're doing an economic policy speech. And then like 90% of the speech is being like, every Salvadoran is a rapist and Venezuelans are doing they're inventing new versions of raping white women. Also, Kamala Harris is also participating in this secretly. They want the American blood pool to look less white. It's like, what happened? Like, where's the fucking economic policy? He just does like one fucking take on it where he'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna slash prices by half. Won't tell you how he's gonna do it and just moves on to the high notes, to the things that he wants to talk about. Bacon is 4 times the price. Why? Guatemalans, they're eating all the bacon, folks. No more supply and demand, believe me. No more supply of bacon. All the Guatemalans, they ate the bacon, folks. This is why I will stop the Guatemalan migration. Everything is just tied back.
Okay, Don, thanks very much. We're going to, of course, have team coverage of the Democratic National Convention all week long.
For more on what to expect tonight and in the days ahead in Chicago, Ed O'Keefe joins us. Ed, as I listed off the speakers, it occurs to me a contrast with the Republicans who did not have many formers on their stage.
There were no signs of the Bush family in Milwaukee. Good to see you. Welcome to Chicago. Tonight, as we said, is all about President Biden. They're going to give him a big tribute, focus on his decades-long career. And then they're going to turn their attention to the future, with Harris at the top of the ticket. In a final push before the convention, Vice President Harris spent Sunday rolling through the battleground state of Pennsylvania, alongside running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. They stopped by a campaign office.
We're doing it.
Yeah, it's because Hillary Clinton is exactly everyone wants to hear from. Yeah, dude, I don't really understand what like the motivation is for a lot of this stuff. Like, who the fuck's like, damn, dude, you know what would hit right now? A Hillary Clinton speech. There's just never been a moment in my life where I felt that, and I don't think there's any human being that actually feels that way either. I'm actually, like, I'll say it. I don't think that's a real thing that people want, okay?
And rallied supporters in a wide variety of places while fielding questions about her campaign.
I very much consider us the underdog. We have a lot of work to do to earn the vote of the American people.
She also took swipes at former President Donald Trump.
Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward.
It comes after Trump also campaigned in Pennsylvania over the weekend and tried to make his case on the economy.
We will make America affordable again.
But he once again veered into personal attacks on Harris's intelligence and appearance.
I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better.
What a wild thing to say, man. He's just going crazy mode. I am much better looking than her. I am. Everyone knows it. Believe me, I'm so much better looking.
Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Riffs like that have Trump allies concerned about whether he can stay on message as Harris has made gains, most notably among likely women voters in a new CBS News poll.
If you have a policy debate for president, he wins. Donald Trump, the provocateur, the showman, may not win this election.
Trump and Harris are both now racing to define what her administration would look like, as our new poll also finds more than a third of registered voters say they don't know what she stands for. She'll use this week in Chicago to try to answer those questions, as allies say momentum is in her favor.
You've seen the level of excitement and energy rising, and it frankly hasn't crested yet.
That excitement has thousands descending on Chicago this week. Security is tight as law enforcement prepares for large protests opposing the war in Gaza. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who will speak at the convention tonight, says his city is ready.
Protecting this city is my top priority, and I will continue to do that.
Protests started last night with about 500 people marching down Michigan Avenue. The police were there on foot and bicycle, making sure everybody was all right. More protests with larger numbers are expected in the coming days. A big one coming today. The Coalition to March on the DNC starts around midday here, Tony, around the United Center.
You know, Ed, let's go back to Vice President Kamala Harris, because when you're in that job, you get a plane and you get a mansion in Washington, D.C., but there are no promises about your political future. She's going to have to, starting tonight, go out there and get it.
Yeah,
What's she need to do?
Well, you know, one of the most interesting findings in our poll, about 36% of voters say they don't necessarily.
I'm a big fan, but does it feel like a which side are you on moment for going to the DNC and participating in it versus staying outside with the protesters? I know you say being inside, you'll function as a protester, but will you really ask for an arms embargo to the face of politicians? Because that seems like the only thing that wouldn't be endorsing the Dems right now. No, I'm going to go in and I'm going to fist fight. Like, what are you talking about, dude? We're going to, I think I'm going to, he kind of ate you up, not going to lie. No, you're right. My loyalty is with the Dems, baby. You already know. Hey, listen, I got the hat to prove it. Okay. Hey, man, I don't know if you know this. Hey, lady, sorry. Okay. I'm saying man is in like, you know. Listen, lady, I'm a goddamn member of the fucking media. Shut the fuck up. Okay. The fuck is wrong with you? My job is to cover the fucking news and give you fucking commentary. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, I'm going to go spit on fucking Mehdi Hassan and Ryan Grimm and all the other journalists for literally being inside of the fucking press pool too. I'm going to fight Prem. I should have fought him today. I should have literally hit him with a bow and been like, yo, what the fuck? It's a real which side are you on moment. Why the fuck are you inside the DNC covering the DNC? Ay, ay, ay. Ryan would body you, little pup. It's true. He bodied Jesse Waters. Do you think that they're going to ignore Palestine? So here's some good things and some bad things about this. Okay. 1, uncommitted. DNC will host first ever panel on Palestinian human rights. Panelists, uncommitted co-lead Layla El Abed, a surgeon who served in Gaza. Party organizer with family killed in Gaza by Israeli forces. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Former Rep Andy Levin. Arab American Institute President Jim Zogby. This is like pretty solid. Pretty huge, right? That's like a pretty big deal. But also simultaneously, on the other side, you got the DNC coming out with a statement against like sexual violence that Hamas committed, which is like so nutty when you think about what's going on in Israel right now. Pretty incredible, though totally believable, that the final DNC platform is a one-sided condemnation of sexual violence, and it's aimed at Hamas, even as the Knesset engages in a full-throated debate as to whether acknowledge the rape of Palestinian detainees is okay or not. Their entire platform on the Israel shit is just like so incredibly one-sided. I know TikTok issue of the day doesn't matter, but there's a really interesting shift on leftist TikTok of other minorities getting increasingly frustrated by Palestinian pro-Palestinian creators as asking marginalized groups in America to sideline their oppression and rights by committing to not voting. No, you are being increasingly annoying, and the shift is incredibly fucking annoying. Americans are just so fucking selfish and don't give a shit about anything else other than themselves. Ain't nobody's actually having a conversation like that. Palestinian rights are human rights. Palestinian rights are the same as black liberation. Palestinian liberation is the same as black liberation in the United States of America. Palestinian emancipation is directed towards an entire government that literally trains the American police departments, okay? There is a direct through line. Like, it's just so fucking stupid. I'm sick and tired of having this conversation with people who are just idiotic. This is a conversation that we're having with people who are just too stupid to like read into it a little bit. I don't care. Fuck TikTok, okay? Jesus Christ.
Necessarily know what she stands for, what she would do as president. That's a higher percentage than Donald Trump. So she's got to spend time this week, the whole party does, explaining again who she is, what she's about, what she would do. The poll also found, interestingly, the reason she's starting to close the gap. Those younger voters and voters of color are now starting to show up in numbers that suggest they can close the gap. So she's got to keep focused on them and what they're interested about, which is why you're hearing so much this week about the future. What will we do for you? What would this change in the country mean for you as you get older? You'll see a lot of focus on that as well.
As soon as that Rosal girl called black people colonizers, you lost me. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Okay, dude, fuck Palestine then, okay? You're right. They deserve to be genocided. They deserve to be genocided. You're right. Israel actually doesn't train the American police department and treating black people the same exact way that the IDF treats Palestinian people. You're right about that. Fuck all of the truth. One TikToker said black people also participate in American colonial actions. That is a reality, is abject reality, but that pissed you off. So fuck that person and fuck this movement. You're right, dude. What do I always tell you? I'm a white guy. Fucking people get mad at me, say I'm racist all the time. Does that stop me? Is my allegiance, my allyship conditional? Is it fucking transactional? Are you stupid? Get morals, get a fucking backbone, and shut your stupid ass up. I am not having this fucking dumbass conversation with you dumb motherfuckers over and over again. It does not fucking matter. Grow a goddamn spine and grow the fuck up. Like, if you drop a cause like that, then you weren't really with it anyway.
Don't necessarily know her life story. Don't necessarily know the work she's been doing the last few years or what she would want to do. That's what this week's got to be about, because it's a 4-day ad, essentially, for her, with the potential for a lot of news to be made as well.
Yeah, she's going to define herself, not let Republicans do the defining for her. Ed, thank you very much.
Some of the thousands of delegates say they are remaining uncommitted as a protest over U.S. support for Israel. CNN's Donny O'Sullivan is here with me. Donny, you've been speaking to some of these delegates. I was talking to Congressman Jackson about this.
My freaking goat, Donny O'Sullivan, baby.
Earlier on in this program, whether or not it's going to present a major disruption.
Hassan, can you please interview the RFK Jr. supporters protesting outside the DNC? Yes, I will be if I have the chance. One of them came up to me in an RNC, in an RFK Jr. fit, by the way, and dabbed me up and was like, Hassan. Woo! Oh, it was that guy. This is the guy, I think. This is literally the guy. Content, baby. Content. You can't possibly believe that there aren't people in there working on behalf of a Republican victory. I know you can't discuss this because you couldn't possibly tell me exactly how a right-wing infiltrator would act in that space. In what space? In the pro-Palestinian camp? Is that what you're saying? You think there's like right-wing infiltrators? There's right-wing infiltrators in every space. I mean, here, look at this. Heads up, neo-Nazi ally and right-wing troll Jack Posobiec is trying to interview DNC protesters undercover outside the United Center in Chicago wearing a keffiyeh over his face. Don't speak to him. There you go. Yeah, you asked. Here are the infiltrators. The infiltrators don't even have to be right-wing. Let's not pretend the only right that unconditionally support Israel. No, I think that Chatter was trying to make an argument that there are right-wing infiltrators in the pro-Palestinian space, specifically being like, don't vote for the Democrats. It's like, I think people can make up their own fucking minds on this issue. There are a lot of people who also personally think voting for Trump would be helpful for the Palestinians. I don't believe that, obviously. That's something that I've routinely criticized. I think it's fucking ridiculous. Having said that, however, there are people who do believe that. Okay, so just remind yourself of that reality.
Democrats here in Chicago, what are you hearing?
I gotta pee.
Hey, Jim, yeah, I mean, there's going to be probably tens of thousands of protesters expected outside the arena. But when it comes to here on the convention floor, I mean, obviously the Democrats want to tell a story of remarkable unity and the party getting behind Harris. But for pro-Palestinian activists and demonstrators, they also want to bring that point up here on the convention floor, and they want answers from Harris on Gaza. And we spoke to some of them yesterday.
We've got 30 uncommitted delegates that are representing over 740,000 uncommitted voters nationwide who voted uncommitted as a pro-peace, anti-war vote in the Democratic primary.
This is a meeting of uncommitted Democratic delegates here in Chicago on the eve of the Democratic National Convention.
That it's not sustainable for our own government to fund the mass killing of civilians.
Folks become delegates at their state party, and then they come to the national convention, and they're either committed to the candidate, to one of the candidates, or not. In our case, we're not committed because we haven't heard what we've wanted to hear. We're looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for a strong commitment on a ceasefire. We're looking for an arms embargo for us to stop sending weapons that are contributing to the genocide there.
I represent some of the over 101,000 voters in Michigan who voted uncommitted as a pro-peace, anti-war vote.
Nobody wants to see Trump in November. We are a very anti-fascist movement. We are actually doing what we can to save the Democratic Party by saying, listen, VP Harris, there is a key base of over 730,000 anti-war voters who are telling you that we want to see you turn the page on Gaza policy and save Palestinian lives.
What do you want to hear from Harris in Chicago this week?
I want to hear from Vice President Harris how it is that she's going to turn a new page on Gaza policy from the destructive and disastrous policy of the last 10 months to one that saves lives.
You got to meet Harris briefly in Michigan.
We wanted to be able to speak to her directly. And the fact that Michigan voters would want to support her in the November election, but we can't do that right now while our family members, our friends, our loved ones are being killed with U.S.-funded bonds. I told her that we need a policy shift that will save lives in Gaza. My community is telling me that they're losing tens and hundreds of their family members, and she said it's horrific. She's been incredibly empathetic. I do have to say that. We have seen more empathy and compassion from Vice President Harris, but that is not enough. Palestinian children can't eat.
Oh my God, Hassan, you forgot Kaya? Shit. I was supposed to bring her here.
Words.
Is there more hope in this movement right now with Harris at the top of the ticket than there was when Biden was there?
I think that in general, we would all say we're cautiously optimistic. There is a little bit more wiggle room, we feel like, with Vice President Harris. We've already seen her change the rhetoric a little bit, but words are not enough.
And Jim, you hear that cautious optimism there. I will say one of the delegates also told me that...
Like, I'm not kidding when I say this. The DNC should have given me a fucking slot like this, okay?
The difference
it's
in
bullshit.
The engagement between when Biden was on top of the ticket versus when Harris, it was night and day in terms of how the campaign is engaging with these activists. Also, a lot of folks, a lot of Democrats saying to people like this, well, you know, if you don't vote for...
What's your take on leftist channels who are criticizing uncommitted voters for even talking to Harris? I don't care. There is a fucking election going on. Obviously, it is a pressure point. It quite literally is the smart thing to do. Wait, what did you say? 9/11 guy? You do understand, I literally have a press pass. Like, I have a badge given to me by the DNC. They just didn't give me a slot, like a permanent space that I can stream out of. That's it. I don't know why people are like this. It's pretty simple to extract concessions. You need people to talk to Harris? Yeah. My girlfriend cuts Pritzker's hair and his wives. I can link you. Have your team DM me. I don't have a team, man. This is me. How does it feel to have that DNC badge? Seems exciting. It's fun. Liberals are trying to cope that the pro-Palestinian protests are not their own potential voters trying to put pressure on a key issue. Yeah.
You might help Trump, and that's
kind of surprised they didn't give you a slot. No, not like a speaking slot, but like a permanent space inside of the DNC where I can stream.
Going to be good for Arab Americans or for Gaza and for this cause, your cause. And those folks say that's not our issue. That is for the Harris campaign to answer those questions and to change their position.
And I hate to ask you an impossible question to answer, but I'll ask it anyway.
Thank you, Jim. Make my life easy. Thanks for that.
What are the expectations that things will remain peaceful, that things won't get out of control? Are you getting any sense of that from these activists you're talking to?
I mean, all the activists that we've spoken to very much say they want things to remain peaceful. They want their voices to be heard. They want to remain peaceful. But of course, like this, like any demonstration, particularly on this issue, particularly also with the idea of potentially counter-protests, and also there could be agitators in these crowds outside the next few days. We'll be outside, as will our colleagues be. But yes, they are hoping, as everybody here is, that things remain peaceful.
Yeah, you have to assume that outside agitators are going to try to infiltrate some of these demonstrations, try to see what kind of trouble they can stir up. All right, Donny O'Sullivan, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All right, as the Democrats work to showcase party unity inside the convention hall, not everyone is on board with Kamala Harris outside on the streets of Chicago. I've been showing this to you. Tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are descending on the city to show their discontent with the Biden administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. It's a familiar challenge for the vice president, who's become pretty well versed in handling the hecklers.
I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
Inside the convention hall, though, another small crack in Democratic unity with 36 uncommitted delegates on that floor. They represent hundreds of.
This is so funny. Obsessed with the DNC rendering of the creator platform. Donny sent me not this rendering, but like the actual photo of the platform earlier this morning. He's like, I think they're going to put the creators there. They got the Unreal Engine render. Every time I watch that, I get irked again. Twitch Mobile keeps closing your stream and pulling Kai's stream up without me touching anything. It's annoying as shit. Dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Twitch Mobile, okay? I'm not the boss of Twitch. I don't know why you guys I fear that maybe you believed my haters when they said I'm the real boss of Twitch. I actually control Twitch. I don't. There's a lot of people who have been talking about Twitch Mobile. It sucks. Why do 40,000 people watch this dumbass? I don't know, man. I don't know. A question I ask myself every day, honestly. I'm a very fortunate person. I think that's what it is. I think some people just want to know. You getting robbed? Yeah. Oh no. There's an emo twink in here that I was unaware of. And he's robbing me. March hasn't even begun and the media is already working overtime to downplay the attendance. I mean, it hasn't begun yet. It's filling in. The pile of unclaimed signs of the pro-Palestine protest march on the DNC an hour after it began. Organizers say they were hoping for 30 to 40K. The crowd is maybe 1/10 of that size. Only if you brought Kai to stop him. I know, I fucked it up. Thoughts on Chicago as a city? I like it. Is it only for today, this particular protest? I think there's different demonstrations throughout the week, but this is supposed to be the first day of the protest.
Citizens of American voters and Democrats as well. We're now learning that 3 Democratic senators who are running for re-election in competitive states will not attend this convention. You see them there on your screen. Let's discuss this all and more with CNN political commentators Kate Bedingfield and Scott Jennings. Kate, I was just talking to Gary Peters a second ago and asked him about what he thinks that the protesters need to understand about what Harris can and cannot do. And the very first thing he said was that we need to get to a ceasefire deal. There is a little bit of choreography about this particular moment where maybe they're on the cusp of a ceasefire deal. Maybe she can't say a whole lot more about this issue at risk of jeopardizing that. But you've got thousands of protesters on the streets wanting to hear more.
Well, that's often true in foreign affairs and national security. There are things going on that you can't necessarily talk about publicly. But I think on this, she's been quite public about where she hopes to get to. She's been very vocal that she wants to see a ceasefire now, that she wants to see hostages released. She has spent a lot of time making very clear that that's what President Biden and the administration are pushing for. I think, look, the Democratic Party is a big party. It's a big tent. People are going to speak up and be heard. That's all right. I think you've heard her handle it both with strength, as I would argue.
At this point, do you think there's any chance that Kamala will take a more aggressive stance against Israel? I don't know. Like I said, there's some good things in terms of having the uncommitted vote platform have speaking space. Overall, though, I don't know. I mean, it's not likely. It's not very likely. There's also another aspect of this that we're going to be talking about after this part of the coverage is done, because there's also the ongoing ceasefire negotiations, and there's obviously a lot of misinformation surrounding that.
The clip that you showed before we started talking demonstrates, but also you've seen her really be clear that she ultimately shares their goal. And at the end of the day, if you're somebody who's protesting the DNC because you're frustrated about where things stand.
There's been a lot of reporting now about what the CNN person said, by the way. Kamala cannot/will not say anything more because of the ceasefire negotiations. Yeah, I think that... Where did you get that idea from? You? No, I never said that. I can and will live stream from inside of the DNC. There's one live stream, but there's different methods of live streaming. The method that I'm using right now is my remote desktop. This is my regular ass stream that I have at my house. It's the exact same, okay? Down to the fucking Zin Towers, okay? The Zwin Towers. Normally, this setup that I have, I was planning on putting that in the DNC and operating from inside of the DNC as my base of operations. However, I have the backpack that's down there right now, the IRL backpack. I am going to use the IRL backpack to do a live stream from inside of the DNC. I'm also going to use the IRL backpack to do a live stream, not only from inside of the DNC, but also from the pro-Palestinian protests that are happening. My plan right now is to cover the news, then swap it to the backpack, then venture into the pro-Palestinian protests, and then after that, go to the DNC. Okay? That's the plan today. Have you been talking with them about it? No way security lets you bring a backpack full of tech junk. Dude, this is the Democratic National Convention. What are you talking about? Do you know how much fucking media is there? How do you think these guys got in? I'm not like a random guy. Meet and greet at all. No, you cannot buy me dinner tonight, King. Sorry. And I will not be doing a meet and greet either.
Gaza and Israel. Donald Trump, as president, who has said that we need to go into Gaza and finish the job, is not a viable option for you. And so I would really say to these protesters, look at what Kamala Harris is trying to do to get to a ceasefire.
Phonics, don't ever say not to be an audio nerd. You're the biggest fucking audio pervert in the chat. And no, we don't have lavalier mics. Or we do, actually. But we don't. We have lavalier mics, dude. What are you... Bro, this guy, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have lav mics. Okay, we do.
And listen to what she has to say, because she has been very, very vocal about this.
When you say shares their goal, whose goal exactly? Because some of these people on the street, I can assure you, do not have goals that you want inside the tent of the Democratic Party.
I agree with that.
In fact, I would say most of them don't.
Some do, and some have said incredibly anti-Semitic things, which she has called out. Some
oh my fucking God. Shut up. Shut up. Oh God, these guys are such fucking freaks.
Have defaced property, which you remember I think the day after the property was defaced at Union Station, she put out a really forceful statement about it. Absolutely. But broadly speaking, the cohort of people who want to see a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza, she shares that goal.
Oh my God. Any chance you'll meet up with AOC this week? Yes. To those who are rightfully disillusioned by the DNC, take part in the grassroots movement. Just do something, anything. It's our responsibility. Yeah. You look very demure, very mindful. Thank you. I try to be as mindful and as demure as I possibly can every day. It's such a cowardly way to cover this shit, to be like, wow, bombshell report reveals shocking information about anti-Israel protesters at DNC from Fox News. There's been a lot of anti-Semitic statements coming from the protesters. There's been a lot of anti-Semitic statements. Won't anybody think about the property damage? My girlfriend's working the blue carpet. We work out of DC. I worked at NASA. Let her know if you want a tour of NASA. I met Andy Bashir yesterday and at you on Twitter. Hell yeah. Why are they always anti-Israel protesters? Good. I mean, they should say it's anti-Israel protesters. Instead of saying they're anti-Semitic protesters, is an upgrade. You know what I mean? It's fucking Fox News, bro. Fox News literally normally talks about these people like they're fucking human scum. Like they're barbaric monsters. Go to your little nerdy convention already. I want to meet all your nerd friends. Dude, what are you talking about? Good afternoon from Western PA. Have a good stream. Have fun. Just know that when you head into the United Center, that you'll be in the same building that Michael Jordan, the GOAT, played in. Show some fucking respect. I agree. I mean, look, I think Michael Jordan is awesome. I just think LeBron is better, but that's it. Like, do you think I have an issue with Michael Jordan's basketball? Like, what are you, crazy? Yeah. All right. Let's just turn it off for now. Cornell West is at the March on DNC rally. This is from literally like right here. It's starting to pick up some steam. Should we just go? We should just go. Can you speak to Big Cat and PFT commenter? Can you sneak them into the DNC? They'd make it a lot more fun. Yeah, all right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Let's roll out to the protest. We're gonna head out to the protest for now. We're gonna go to the protest first. After the protest, we're gonna head out to the DNC as well afterwards. Why do you sound so low energy at the moment? Get fucking hyped already. It's hard, man. It's hard not to fucking dude, I flew in. I didn't sleep that much. You know, I'm trying to fucking keep this shit together, chat. God damn it. Give me a fucking break, you know? What is this? Charlie Kirk?
Republican Secretary of State in the state of Georgia.
What's your name? You said Parker?
My name's Parker. We have a Republican governor and Republican Secretary of State in Georgia that approved our elections, and Donald Trump said that wasn't constitutional.
All right, relax.
Donald Trump tried to undermine our Constitution.
You're at 10. I just walked in. I'm here to just learn.
Hey, you're an anti-patriotic, anti-constitutional person crashing our party because you tried to stop our democracy.
I got one question.
Donald Trump called the Secretary of State of Georgia.
Nothing gets me as libbed up as like seeing one of these guys, seeing like these incredibly nerdy, like lanyard wearing Democratic Party operative influencers get up in the face of a Republican commentator. It gets me so fucking libbed up. I despise them when they're talking about like, Palestine is not an important issue. Let's not talk about that. But goddamn, do they pop off on the likes of Charlie Kirk and shit. It just, if there's anything that unites the Democratic Party or unites the progressive left in general with the entirety of the left umbrella in this country, it is just like being in the presence of a right winger for 3.5 seconds. I can't stand some of these motherfuckers. I don't know about this dude. I don't know him at all, but I can't stand some of these motherfuckers when they're talking about like, you know, Cory Bush getting owned or whatever. And it's like, you're gross. The moment that they just chirp at a person like Charlie Kirk is awesome.
State of Georgia and told him to find him some votes.
What is a woman?
Oh my God. That is so fucking weird, y'all. Maybe you should meet one.
He said, what is a woman?